Yuppie Psycho is a psychological horror game about the terrors of working for corporate America. You play as Brian Pasternak on your first day working for the greatest soul-crushing corporation in America, Walmart. However, you've been given a special role in this company. Your duties include attending meetings,
Killing the witch.
and socializing with your colleagues. Speaking of which, let me introduce you to them. Your colleagues are the average run-of-the-mill office sitcom characters. You've got the funny fat guy, the sassy redhead, the will they won't they love interest, the bigot, the Indian IT guy, and the creepy girl who is way too open about her weird hobbies. You know, the typical cast you would find in a real-life office. Now that introductions are out of the way, let me tell you a bit about the game. Walmart had a rough start in the beginning, and in order to turn things around, the original owner adopted a witch as a daughter who brought fortune to the company for many years. Though now, the witch has turned on the company and is killing people, and it's up to you to stop her or get fired. Gameplay-wise, it's your typical 2D horror game, solving puzzles, collecting health items, and other items needed to solve mentioned puzzles, Resident Evil style. Though the main selling point that differentiates Yuppie Psycho from other games is its story. The theme of how terrible it is to work for large corporations like Corp, as well as its less realistic, demonic magic story it has going on. Actually, now that I think about it, I wouldn't rule out Amazon for having demonic magic either, so it's all pretty realistic. But it makes it all a really nice story. I also very much love the pixel art style for the game, especially as the game starts to get much more insane. The designs just become a absolutely perfect fit. Like this printer that has 4 hands crawling around. Like the art style can go from, "Don't worry guys, I'm almost done with the sandwiches for the party," to... Speaking of which, the horror of this game isn't like a typical horror game with tons of jump scares. The horror comes mostly from the situational build-up by the story, as well as the tension built from the rooms and what they look like. Well, they look like this, making you feel much more unsettled than scared. The game itself never really scared me or even got me just to be creeped out or something crazy getting stuck in my head. Most of the time, the only kind of psychological horror that gets to me, if any at all, is analog horror. So, you know, as long as this game doesn't have some sort of VHS home video recordings you can find, then, you know, I should be... Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not sleeping tonight. Now, this game hasn't gotten a lot of attention, which I find quite surprising, especially because of its level of quality and how it's only $17. To be fair though, even after I found it on Steam, I still didn't know if I wanted to play it, even with its amazing reviews. But then I read about how a legend helped in the process of making this game. And when it comes to the soundtrack of this game, it was done by one talented man. The king of OSTs, the bringer of bops, the harbinger of harmony, Go Road. If you have never heard this guy or his OSTs, your ears have been missing out their entire life. I mean, this guy brings banger after banger after banger. All those songs I just played, Go Road. This chill song I've been talking over, Go Road. the saxophone outro song that I use in most of my videos that goes da 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 da. Yeah, that's Garode. If you see a game with this man's name on it as the person behind the soundtrack, that alone makes the game worth playing. So far, that method has never failed me when it comes to picking a game to play. Which, I mean, so far has only been Yuppie Psycho, and since Valhalla was the first time I heard his music. But hey, 100% batting average is still insane. With this guy's music, the art style of the game, the story of the game parodying like actual terrible working conditions in the real world, along with an interesting story of a witch and multiple different endings for you to discover, this game gets an A+ for me, and I highly recommend you go check it out. Also, if you subscribe to me, I'll get rid of any witches you need taken care of. Thanks for watching. Cue the outro! Da 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 da!